So, João, here's something for us to breeze into. Are the majority of people good or bad? Evil, I mean. Have you ever breezed this out?
So I've been about this for a long time. And yeah, so I asked myself this question and I didn't have an answer. And there are lots of nuances for that, but I
Okay.
do have a solid opinion about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I would just shoot it at once. Let's
Okay. No,
breeze a
create
bit.
some mystery around it.
Let's breeze a bit and maybe we get to the conclusion. So
If you
what
wanna,
about you?
if you're watching this and you wanna know our honest opinions, you have to watch till the end. Okay,
Yeah,
just saying.
right. Yeah. What about you? What about you? Have you ever thought about that? Do you breathe into that a lot?
Ever since I was a little child.
Really?
Oh my God. I remember to this day, I think I must have been 6 or 7 because I remember the house that I was living in at the time. And after that, I moved. And I remember that I was asking my mom that, right? Because her opinion, she's evangelical, and her opinion is that people are bad. Most people are bad. Only a few people get sanctified or whatever and get forgiven for their sins, but we always have that nature, right? That evil nature that only God can make it better, or that mindset.
Mhm.
And I remember that I asked her, but what about the little kids in India that never heard of Jesus in the Bible? Like, what happens to them? And then she tried to explain to me using her terms, but it's something that's always bugged me. Like,
Yeah,
okay, if people are bad and only God saves, then
yeah.
oh my God, so many people are going to hell. They never had a chance, right? So,
So
yeah.
maybe this could be a separate breeze, but I I think I can prove that if heaven exists, it's a desert. There's nobody there. It's impossible
Whoa.
for him to go to
Okay.
heaven.
Okay. Actually, you know
There is
what?
only God and Jesus.
When
Who is
we
God? So there is.
were talking about this topic, like choosing this topic, a TV show comes to mind. It's The Good Place. Have you ever watched it?
No,
Or
I've heard about it, but
okay,
never watched it.
there may be spoilers about The Good Place. Do you mind?
Yeah. I don't mind. So
No,
yeah, that
it's
is
fine.
this thing about, but I don't mind. I don't
Okay,
mind
great.
the slightest.
Okay, awesome. So if
If
anybody watching
if
doesn't
you
like
watch,
spoilers,
yeah, but you shouldn't mind about spoilers. Come on.
yeah, I don't think so either. If anything, the spoilers make you want to watch it because now you're like, oh my God, how did that happen? I need to understand the process of getting to that
It's
point, right?
just like the breeze. It's about the process, not about the conclusion.
Yes, exactly. And there's one point in The Good Place that I really love, and it's that life is has gotten so complicated that if there was a point system, right, to measure if you have points to be go to the good place, to go to heaven, or if you don't have the points, nobody would ever be able to get enough points to go to heaven. It would be a desert, as you say, right? Because for example, if you're going to buy flowers, I think this is one of the examples of the show. You're going to buy flowers, but these flowers were sold by a large corporation that pollutes the oceans. And they were brought to you over many, many, many miles using petroleum, right? Petroleum product. And you're like actually not doing something nice as you thought. You're actually creating a problem for the environment and the world and whatever. So it's really cool the way that they show exactly what you said. If there is heaven, it's empty.
Yeah, right. Cool. So yeah, my breeze about that is it's not quite that what you said, but it's very
Mhm.
analogous.
Okay.
It's analogous, right? I don't know. Should we go into it or uh, let's
Okay.
get back.
I, I,
Let's
th-
get
I
back.
think I think we can breeze it out, and then see if
Yeah.
that leads to our answer to the question. right?
Yeah,
Like explore the details or whatever.
right. So I don't think that my thought process about this one will lead to our topic today. So
No? Okay.
no, I don't think so.
So it's gonna be
Let's get out of this rabbit hole. We can come back later on another breeze. Let's.
all right, no problem.
It's a nice rabbit hole as well.
No, you can do whatever you want. If you
Yeah.
want to like change the topic in the middle of the topic, that's fine too. I don't care.
Okay.
Do what you
Yeah.
want.
So, but yeah. So, you were saying about yeah the so when I say good and bad, so the main thing that comes to my mind when I breathe about this is so first um, we are told to be good, right? And I mean this is admired. This is kind of unanimous.
Hmm.
Does
Unanimous.
the word exist? Unanimous.
Yep, it does.
It's kind of unanimous. Should be good, okay? And the work kind of goes through that direction, right? So we, I mean, we can theoretically walk in the streets without being um, like being assaulted, something like this, sometimes
Okay.
hit or okay, robbed, that happens, but
But
it's not anarchical as it was in the past, right? You have to in the past you have to, I don't know, walk with swords and weapons, not to be
okay.
robbed like that. So um, yeah, it's so we're kind of walking towards this being good, being better. At the same way, not at the same way, at the same time, um, we need to keep our eyes open every time. I mean, we must um, be attentive to what others can do to us. They can
Okay.
lie to us or anything like that.
But do
So
you have just one quick question? Do you have to be alert because other people are bad? Does that automatically mean that?
um, not necessarily.
Or can there be good people that could also be
Yes,
a threat
that
and
absolutely
then
can
you
happen.
have to be on alert anyway?
That absolutely can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That absolutely can happen. So it's a nuanced topic. Like there is no bad and good. There is,
There you go. Yeah.
yeah. It's a nuanced topic. But so the reason I breeze about that is that um, in the common sense, when you talk to people, you're always like, I don't know. I don't know if you feel this. I feel that in the when you start talking to people, it's always you need to be you need to be on guard.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Um, yeah, so that's the point. So whenever you talk to people, at least in my life, and I talk to people, this always comes up. Uh, Mainly when you're discussing about work, um, I don't know, and so that could suggest that the majority of people is bad because you always have to be on guard. You
Okay.
always have to be um, if you don't get robbed in the streets, it's because there is law, right?
Okay.
You get assaulted in the streets, it's because there is the law to protect you.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes me think, is looks like kind of everyone is bad.
Okay.
Make me think that, right? Um, but then I get to another line of thought.
Mm-hmm.
So take a take a very, let's say, let's call it a very bad person, like a very a corrupt
Okay.
politician, a very corrupt politician.
Politician, yes.
Yeah. So take a very corrupt politician. What's the discourse of that politician?
Mm.
It's not, hey, I just want money, and maybe I do something here, but I get everything to myself as far as I can. So
Because I'm evil, so I'm gonna do this.
yeah, so if that's what I think, if the majority of the people is actually bad, that talk, it seems to me that talk would be possible. You know,
Okay.
I mean, the politician would say, "Yeah, I want to get all of the money to myself and just give you crumbles." And yeah, that's nothing wrong with that. That's what I'm speaking about it.
Dude, that's a badass breeze. I love
Yeah.
that.
But no, they do what they do have to do. I love the poor, I love the people. Oh, I'm here to take the poor out of the situation. Oh, I'm here to increase the quality of the health services. Oh, I'm here to give education to everyone. Oh, I love the people. Politics is my passion. The people is my passion. It doesn't, it's not different. It must be that. It must be that. Why does it must it be like
Why the
that?
pretense, right? Why the
Right.
pretense? Oh, you must be good, but if most people are bad, then if most
Yeah.
people are bad, then bad is good. It's
Yeah.
desirable, right?
Yeah. So their market, let's say that their public is they need to convince their public to stay there and do the bad things they do.
Oh
But
my.
to stay there, they must um, communicate that they are good. And that's the point. If the way to stay on the top is to communicate, okay,
How good you are, right?
I'm kind of getting lost here, but my point
Okay.
is, so the politician needs a huge basis, right? And
Mm-hmm.
this huge basis of people is good people, must
Mm.
be, because their discourse is to be good.
And they're
And
looking for people who are good to be in
yes,
office.
yes, if the majority of people wasn't like that, they would change that discourse.
Mm-hmm. Oh my
So
God, I love this. You
that
know,
makes
no, go ahead. I'm
that
so
that makes me
excited.
that makes me think the majority of people is reasonably good and honest.
I love that. You've brushed past this lightly and other breezes in
Yeah.
Portuguese, and I never knew what you were getting at,
Mhm.
right? And now that you actually came out and said it, I'm like, oh my God, I love this. This
Do you
is
mean
a
the
really great
politician?
point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's I think there was some time that I had the epiphany, right? So
Mhm.
it's fun. It happens a lot with me. So I'm breathing out during my days, and I'm repeating that breeze in my mind and trying to just breathing out. And someday I just, hey, but why do these politicians talk about good things? Must be because they have a market to attend, and it, uh, their market is so okay. They want to aim to their market as well as they can. And doing this is communicating good things. So their market must be of people that value good.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna breeze out
Yeah.
into like breeze off into the distance with this week. Because is there, here's the question that's forming in my mind as you're saying it, right? Is it possible to be bad and yet desire good, right? Because maybe let's just breeze away into the distance here.
I
Um,
get.
maybe most, just I don't believe this, but maybe most people are bad, but they desire good, And the reason why they desire good is because they want to be looked after, right? I want you to take my best interest into consideration. And you're only going to do that if you're good. Make sense or no? Like a selfish overview.
Your video just chopped a bit here. I don't know if I
Oh,
understood.
yeah. The internet is a little choppy. Yeah.
But,
But
so
okay, I'm going to try to say it again. Okay. So hypothetically, imagine that most people are bad or evil, right?
mhm,
But
mhm,
the reason why they desire good politicians is because they want good people in office in order for them to look after their best interests, right? So I'm
mhm,
evil, but I want good people in office because I can use them to my benefit.
mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. I think our society relies on that. So yeah, okay. Yeah, so this is triggering lots of breezes here. Okay, let me try to think about it. Yeah, I think what you described is something that I breeze out all the time. Um, I think I try to explain myself why, if I see so many bad things in people, why they still can make good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the point. So I think what you just said explains it, right? So the bad person wants wants us wants the good for themselves selfishly. But
Mm-hmm.
to get the good, they are inserted in a system, and they must do good even against their will in order to get the greater good for themselves. So
Okay.
if I'm a politician and I want to stay in my position,
Mm-hmm.
I need to, in a year of election, I need to build a bridge or something,
Okay.
right?
I need to do whatever it takes.
Yeah. Sorry.
Need to do whatever it takes to get people to vote for me.
Yeah. Even yes, you don't want to build a bridge because you don't care about the people,
Mhm.
but you
It's just a
need to
means to
provide.
an end, right? It's
Yes,
just a means to an end.
that means to an end is actually good action,
Mhm.
and that's the only reason why you're doing this good action, this good deed. Let's say
Good
it's
deeds, yeah.
because you got it like
Because you want to be seen doing
so.
it.
Because what?
Because you want to be seen doing it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Have you
We are
ever
talking
heard
about
of the Have you ever heard of the concept of moral desert
no,
in philosophy? Um,
no moral
I'm
what
bring
dessert?
moral desert. Yes,
Moral dessert? No.
it's actually a thing in philosophy. And I like the way that they put it in The Good Place. The Good Place explores these ideas, and that's why I
Mm.
love that series. It's the idea of you're going to do good, not just because it's good. You're going to do good because what you get out of it, because you're seeking moral desert, right? You're seeking for applause or attention or a vote
Oh,
or whatever.
oh, I
So
see.
there is
Maybe
a,
your position, your privileges, right?
yeah, yeah. So you have, like, you're seeking out something when you do a good deed rather
Mm.
than doing a good deed just because it's the right thing to do in and of itself.
Okay. Mhm.
All right. So yeah.
How do they
Maybe
how do they
maybe the
approach this?
politicians are looking for moral desert in a way.
Yeah, yeah. So I think we are taking an extreme example here, which is a very selfish politician,
Yeah.
a very selfish person. Because I have the theory that if the person is on the top,
Hmm.
it they must exclusively they must be kind of bad. If they are at the top at something, they kind of must be bad. But the basis of the pyramid is good, so the majority of people is good, right?
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Um, but my point is, we are talking about an extreme example that is a very bad person, right? A
Okay.
very,
A
yeah, very,
hypothetical one.
yeah. But if you take an average person, I mean, it's very good and bad can start to become fuzzy,
Okay.
right? Because uh, you need to be selfish at a point, at a certain point.
Okay.
You just need to do that.
Totally.
We are doing it right now. There are people living in the streets and starving, and we are
Hmm.
not there providing anything for them. We
Yep.
could, me and you, we could go right now and provide food to someone
Hmm.
that is starving, and still our budgets would not be blown up.
Yep.
Uh, but of course, it's impractical. We have our lives to live, right? I think it's at least we should at least acknowledge. Everybody should acknowledge that. Maybe we'll have more empathy if everybody just acknowledges that.
Totally. Absolutely.
Is it bad then? I think we discussed this in a breeze, right? That is a
I
BMW guy.
think,
Yeah,
yeah, we mentioned that in passing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, and so good and bad can become fuzzy. Um,
It can become fuzzy, and there's also the matter, since we're talking about other breezes, there's the matter of parallel realities, right? Or parallel perceptual realities. Um, because maybe you see something as objectively good, but I don't necessarily agree, right? Like, for example, some people might see eating pork as something objectively evil, but you might not necessarily agree.
yeah,
And who's to say if it's evil or not? Who defines that, right? It's complicated, but
so
it's hard to talk to people about that when they perceive their reality as objective, right? Perception, their perceptual reality as objective. It's so complicated.
I think it always it very frequently boils down to the life is suffering breeze, right?
Really?
Yes, because in this good or bad thing, you see, it's the very system in which we evolved is it demands that you do bad for someone to fulfill your needs.
Okay.
It's kind of a
Mm-hmm.
demand of reality,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
I think we also breezed out about that when we talked about becoming a vegetarian, right?
yeah,
Which is one of the reasons why I brought the pork example. But the other reason is the religious example, right? Like for some people, eating pork is a sin, is
yes,
not just a matter of eating other beings, live beings is bad.
yeah. Other
Um,
beings, it's okay. The problem is pork, right?
yeah, like as long as it's not a dirty animal, it's a
Yeah.
clean animal, then it's okay. And I'm not here to judge that kind of
Mhm.
thought. I'm just saying that some think that and some disagree. And who's to say what's good and bad? It's going to be, it's splitting hairs about this is going to be impossible, right? You're
Mhm.
always going to have different points of view.
Mhm.
But then I just want to go back to the point, which is most people, right? Most people are good or bad. And when I say bad, I mean evil. I don't make a distinction. Um, and
Mhm.
I believe that most people want to be good, or they are born with the instinct of striving for goodness. But a lot of people don't really understand what that is,
Mm.
right? Uh, I think that's the best that I can explain.
Right.
Even the evil politician, let's put it that way, right? The guy that just serves their own best interests and lies to whoever they need to get their way, to get votes, but then they steal from the public coffers, right? Okay. this guy and or this woman, whatever, it doesn't have to be a gender thing. This person,
Yeah.
um, I believe this person was born striving to be seen, to feel as a good person. You know, like at least the wanting, the desire to be good is there. But more than likely, the environment and the experiences this person has had led them down a different path. And maybe there's a personality thing, maybe there's a inherent thing in the DNA or in the spirit, depending on whatever you believe in, that kind of counts towards that. But I don't think, I cannot conceive of a person, a baby that comes in into this earth being like, haha, I come to destroy. You know,
Okay.
I just can't.
Okay. So when you say when you say they are born with the desire to be good, would it be something like they are born wanting to see everybody happy and everybody, any person not being hurt? Would it be something like that?
That is a great question. But I think, let's talk about babies, right? Toddlers, whatever, before it's super
Yeah.
conscious. I think at that point is much more selfish than that. It's like I want to be good, to feel good, to be seen as good, to feel protected, to you know, because at that point in the progression of the development of that being, there is no empathy. It's not possible, right? They don't see others as others. They see others as themselves. You are part of me, right?
Yeah.
And because of that, I don't think they're thinking, oh, I want mommy to be happy. This happens later in life, right? And a lot of the times they learn, I want mommy to be happy because mom talks about, I'm sad with you. You did this and now I'm angry. So you learn, okay, so I need mommy to be happy so that I can feel protected and loved and
Mhm.
warm and fuzzy or whatever. Um, yeah.
Maybe that's
So
unconscious and unconscious, right? It's mom.
yeah,
I want mom to be happy. Yeah.
yeah, but it's unconscious and it's very selfish because I want mommy to be happy, not because it's the right thing to do. I want mommy to be happy because when she's happy, then I feel good.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
You touched the point. I don't know if you breathed about that, but uh, it's in if you breathe into it far enough, it's always about selfishness.
Yeah.
The very definition of empathy. What's the definition of empathy? It's to put yourself in other shoes.
Okay.
And there's no other way of thinking about that. But you are it's you are trying to bring the suffering to your understanding,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so even the definition of empathy is based on egotism, where egotism is that the word of
I
selfishness.
think so. Egotism. Yeah, I think that
I don't know
exists.
if they are if they had the same meaning. Maybe selfishness is better. Is
Egotistical. I've heard that word before.
so yeah. So I think it's something I've heard in lots of Darwinian evolution videos and texts
Mm.
that I've read, books that I've read. Altruism actually seems to evolved. It's not. It doesn't exist because it doesn't exist because um, altruism is objectively good. It happened in nature and it was selected for. It benefited that particular group, and that particular group had more descendants who, in turn, were altruistic by inheritance, right?
Yeah.
And so, but it's funny. It's being human. Is fun because we can observe these things these these relationships in reality, in nature, and we can still look at our brains, our minds, and perceive that we do not think about it. It always happens unconsciously here in our brains,
Yep.
right? But up we ended up coming out with an explanation for that, with explanations for that. I breezed. I went totally into another rabbit hole here, but
It's fine. We
but
can go and
you,
we come back.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. That's about. I think this is something I breeze about, but so before that, we're discussing about being born, right? Being born, desiring good. What? So let try to rephrase. Let's see. I think I have some divergence in that point because I think we are born. When we are born, we want to do good to ourselves, right? And then we got
Sure.
to the point to what you talked about. So since we are born wanting to do good to ourselves, we also unconsciously, well, not unconsciously. So since we are born wanting to do good to ourselves, we do it also for mom and dad and our siblings and our friends.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Uh, or we just do that. It's embedded in our brains. So I just mentioned that there should be there are very plausible scientific explanations for that, right? At least technical explanations for that.
Awesome.
But yeah, so that's my point is okay, so what's the definition of good? If the definition of good is wanting to do good to yourself and to your close close ones, let's call, call them it. Um,
That's a tough
then,
definition.
then yeah, yeah, it's so we want if we are born wanting to do good to ourselves and to a very close group, that could be as easily be categorized as bad.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because what
Actually,
about the others? Isn't good the definition of good like preserving everyone, making everyone happy? And that couldn't be that couldn't be that as well.
when you say that, it reminds me of a law maximum, which is to try and preserve the greater good or the good for the largest number of people. That's a philosophical thing too. I think there's a philosophical current that goes into like bring happiness to the largest number of people or whatever. But that's also super hard, and that's
There
also
it
the
is,
good
right?
place. Anybody
Yeah.
reasoning about this needs to watch the good place because sometimes it becomes
No, I think
impossible.
I
If
need.
you try, for example, if you try to
Yeah,
please the largest number of people possible, you become a happiness bump, which is also a philosophical concept, right? You become the person that you do everything for everybody else. It doesn't matter how much it hurts you. You just
it's
want everybody happy because you want to be good. And that's not good. You start to become bad to yourself, right? When you
that's
get
not
into
good.
this,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
when you try to make everyone happy, right? It leads you into a dark path as well. So like being good is doing what makes you feel good and makes others feel good. You're screwed.
yeah, yeah, screwed. Yeah, absolutely.
So that's a really difficult definition.
That
Like,
is,
can I tell you real quick something that I was breezing about that's completely
yeah, sure.
insane? But I was breezing about this. Um, I I got a little plant as a present. It was like a succulent, so it had really
Yeah.
juicy leaves and everything. And I was taking care of this plant. And then I saw that there were little bugs on it, and I was like, oh my God, the bugs are eating my plant. I need to save this plant because it's for the greater good, right? But then I need to kill the bug. The bug is alive too. The bug has eyes, has a life. So now I need to kill the bug to preserve the plant. Or do I let the bug thrive and eat the plant because I eat plants too? What the hell do I do? I was actually breezing
Oh my
about
God.
this, okay? Who deserves to live, the plant or the bug? Do I interfere or do I let them run their course? What do I do? Yeah, I have no answer. I just have
You
the breeze.
you will you do what you do what's good for you and your close group, so you kill the bug, right?
I didn't. I didn't kill the
The
bug.
plant is in your
Yeah, but I didn't
okay,
kill the,
but
the bugs.
if
I
you
let the
needed
bugs eat
to,
the plant.
oh, you did it?
No.
No, no. Okay, so it chopped a bit. So what did you do with the bugs anyway? What did you
I
do with the
I
bugs?
I did nothing. I use the principle of non-interference, right? The bug got here, the bug is eating the
Okay,
plant. I eat salad. I don't want people to kill me for eating my salad.
okay,
So go ahead, bug, eat the plant.
okay. But the plant didn't die, right?
It did.
But because of the bugs, can you know that?
No, not really. I wish I could, but no.
Okay, non-interference. Okay, but at the end of the day, it was just a succulent, right?
Yeah, it was a small plant. It wasn't a
Yeah,
big deal, right?
yeah.
But I did breeze about it and I did have an existential crisis about it.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So okay, okay. This is a good breeze. This is a good breeze. So good and bad end up in that problem that I bring up in I think almost all of our breezes, which is language. Um, Language is tricky. Language allows us to think that things exist in reality that they don't actually do. Like
Yep.
eternity, the example I thought about was eternity. We cannot think, we cannot perceive eternity. We don't.
Yeah.
We can only think of uh, sequentially more extended intervals of time. So from minute to
Mm-hmm.
hours to century to civilizations to planet Earth to universe. But we
Yeah.
cannot. And we can if it goes beyond a human lifetime, we easily lose
Yeah.
track. We lose track.
We can use the word eternity, but it's not like it actually makes sense to us, right? We're just using
Yes,
a word to exemplify something that's beyond our comprehension.
I think one of the most honest uses of the term eternal is like when
Mm-hmm.
you bring when you buy some course, and buy
Mm-hmm.
some course online, and you have lifetime access to the
Lifetime
content.
access.
You
Uh-huh.
can access the content forever. Like
Uh-huh.
everybody knows it's not forever, but you know what I mean.
But it's lifetime. It's for the course of your
It's
life,
the
right?
only concept we can grasp. And I think good and bad is the same. Good and bad is the same. So when I say I think the majority of people is good, is that because we have an established set um, of behaviors that we consider good and bad, and lots of them in the gray area,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think what I saw out of my breezes is that the majority of people fit into the good slash gray area,
Okay.
myself included. Are you there, Dai?
Yeah, I'm here, but it's the connection is kind of sluggish.
I think it's my connection.
I
It
think so
it,
too.
it has yeah. It warned me here a few times. Anyway, have you heard everything? Or?
I think I did. I don't remember what you were saying though, because I'm worried about the
Yeah,
connection.
yeah, me too. Okay. So yeah, I think so. When I say I think the majority of people is good, but
Okay, gray area. Hmm.
yeah, so I think the majority of the people stand in the good slash gray area
Hmm.
region. I think you're
Ourselves
right.
included, right? I include myself too.
Ourselves included. And it's not, this conclusion is not because wishful thinking. This conclusion is because what I see in reality. So the evidence that I have for that is that people that are way in the bad portion of the spectrum need to say they are good and that they love the people and etc.
Hmm.
They need to lie that they are good.
Because
And
good is desirable.
doing that, they have the biggest share of the market.
Sure.
And that's why that's the thing. That's why I think the majority of people is good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think I would reach a conclusion that's similar to yours, right? I believe people strive to be good, and it's hard to define whether they are or are not, but everybody's trying. I dare say everybody, right? I know this is like a bold statement, but
I
I
think,
dare say everybody's trying to be good, but sometimes they go in very wrong ways about it and they fail
but
horribly.
even the bad politician.
Even the evil politician, yes,
But
I think he's
how are they
trying.
trying to how are they trying to how are they trying to be good? I mean, think about it. They know that, oh, I want that money. This will pay for my um uh vacations in Monaco. I don't know,
Hmm.
but and I know it's the money that is directed to food in schools for children. I don't care. I go to Monaco with my family.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that's the line of thought that the person is following, though. I think what's happening in that person's mind and heart is very different from that.
I think I see where you're getting at. Like, okay, let me try to mimic the people's thinking. Okay, so I'm the politician, and oh, okay, I want the greater good for me and for my family, and the greater good is go to Monaco. Let's go to Monaco.
Hmm.
This is a value to me. I want to go there and eat lobster and drink Moët Chandon, as I like to say, and okay, there is this, let's call it a bargain. I don't know. This negotiation I need to do with that
Hmm.
company that you provide food, but okay, I get more money from here if less schools are attended.
Hmm.
Tricky, huh? That could even hurt some people, but hey, it's the way I don't know, maybe maybe soap they soap it out.
Please open
maybe
out.
they
Sabonetada,
maybe
gente.
maybe they get sleepy. I want to think their mind
Slippery.
just just
They
they let it
weasel.
slip out. They let it
They
slip out.
they
Okay,
weasel
thinking
it
of
out.
this would be too uncomfortable. Uh,
Yeah.
I will give an explanation to myself that is kind of plausible and will not think too much. And
I
okay,
think
it's okay to accept that money and go to Monaco, and because if I did accept it, wouldn't solve the problem anyway. So here I go. Maybe that's a line of thought.
or if I don't do it, somebody else will, right? But I
Yeah.
think it's even deeper than that, the way I see it, because what you're saying probably does happen in people's minds, but it's very intellectual level, very brain level. But when you go more internal, more deep into that, I think it's not all the time, of course. I'm trying to generalize something that's ungeneralizable, just created
Mhm.
a word too.
Mhm.
But this person more than likely has this desire for power and a lavish lifestyle because there's something lacking in their personality or in their emotions or whatever, and they're trying to fill that gap, right? Like there's that hole, and the way that they know to fill it is by living out this lavish lifestyle. But it's not because they're inherently evil, it's because they don't know how to go about this in a direct way. Let me try to give an example. Let's say a child lived in poverty and mom and dad told them that they're um, useless and they will never make anything of themselves or whatever, right? I'm trying to be super cliche here.
Mhm.
And then this child grows up into an adult that wants to prove them wrong, that wants to show that I will make something of myself. I will have power and I will go to Monaco and eat lobster and drink Chandon and I
Okay.
will have friends in high places. And I'm
Okay.
going to show that to myself. And this is how I show that a good person because I'm worth something. I'm not worthless. I'm not useless. Look at my worth, right? And they just go about it in wrong ways and they forget to really take into consideration who's getting hurt by it because that's not what matters at that moment. It's a very emotional decision. What matters at this moment is my worth. I need to feel this worth. If I don't feel this worth, I might, I don't know,
I get you.
kill myself. I might go
I get
into
you.
a really dark place.
Yeah, it's unconscious as well. It's as you said, the example
Yeah,
you gave is it's something that was ingrained in your brain when you were a child. So these
yeah,
things don't even have a rational explanation. You just need to go.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why I go back to my strive to be good theory because this person is striving to be good, but the good that this person defined in their mind is worth in material terms, right? Worth as in I am worth a lot of money. Look at me, I'm eating lobster, right? So
Hmm.
it's a distortion of what worth means in that mind, but it's still striving to be good with a distortion in there.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I think this must be the most common kind of badness, right?
I think so, yeah.
But but okay, so here's a question. Don't you think that there are people that rejoice in seeing the suffering of others? I mean,
Mhm.
not necessarily physical. I mean, they like the example I have in mind is
Do you like vídeo cacetada?
yeah. I laughed at them. I must admit, shamefully admit.
How do you say that in English? I think in the United States they say America's Funniest Home Videos, right?
Oh,
Because that's the name of the TV show. But there are probably
uh-huh.
different names across the globe. Basically, it's videos of people getting hurt, and then you just laugh
Yes.
at them.
I think it's a manifestation. I didn't think about that because it's kind of light. Okay, people just fell. Oh, you fell. I'm laughing at you. Now you just stood up again and went to live your life. But I mean, what about people that rejoice in seeing someone, I don't know, losing their job um, and be not able to afford living for the family, and really the person really rejoices.
Okay, but the person rejoices because of what? Because yeah, that person deserves it. Serves you well, then damn right. You did that one thing, now you deserve to lose your job and not feed your
Maybe
family.
maybe it could be some kind of comparison, like maybe yeah, I have this and you don't, and I'm better off, and I
I
rejoice.
have this and you don't because look at how much I fought to have this. You don't deserve it. You want what
or,
I do, what I have, fight for it.
or not, or you uh, I have it and you don't, and not because I fought for it or anything, just because I simply deserve the best. Simply as
And just to make this totally clear, I don't believe in these things I'm saying. I'm acting something out. Just
yeah,
like not
I
create
think we are both
misunderstandings,
doing that.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm acting out a belief in a person and a hypothetical person's mind,
yeah.
right? Um, but I do believe that it at any moment the way that the person looks at it is striving to be good. For example, Maybe I didn't do anything to deserve that. I was born into money and power and connections, and I didn't really do anything. But I am good because I was born good, and that's why I have these things, and I deserve it. And you don't have it because you don't deserve it because you're not as good. So if you want to be good, you better be more like me. But it's not ha ha ha. It's like I want to be good. I strive to be good.
What if you know you don't deserve it?
Okay, then
You know you
in
don't deserve it and you want it anyway.
in these cases, you don't deserve it, and getting it would be proving to yourself that you deserve it. Right? So I know I don't deserve it, but I want to get that thing, and I'm gonna battle for it, because when I get it, then it's proof that I deserve it because I went there and I conquered it.
No, yeah, but okay, so what I'm saying is, okay, we're trying to get here to the thought process of someone that rejoices in seeing other people's suffering.
Okay.
Right? Um, so what you're saying is it. I believe, if I understand correctly, is it eventually, whatever explanation you have for that, it eventually boils down to the person wanting to do good,
To be or feel good, not do
to
necessarily.
feel good, to feel good. Yeah, to
It's
feel
totally different. Doing good
yeah.
is a different conversation,
Okay, to feel good.
right?
Yeah, that
Hmm.
okay. I think yeah, that
To
that makes
feel good or to be good in their own perspective of good,
mm-hmm.
right? So I want to be good for what? For my children. I want my children to see me as a good person. Doesn't matter how many lives I ruin, how many drugs I sell. I just want my kids to see me as a good dad, for example,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or whatever distortion might
Yeah.
happen in a person's mind. But behind these distortions is a person striving to be good, in my opinion.
So maybe being bad would actually failing to see how your path to good can significantly affect the lives of other people.
Yeah, or even not be true goodness, right? Failing to see how the path that you're taking is not true goodness. The path that you're taking is actually pretty harmful, right? And
Mhm.
this facade of good is not the reality. You're living out a fantasy of goodness.
Mhm.
And actually, this is true for just about every good, nuanced villain out there, right? If you ever think about a nuanced villain in any kind of movie or show or book or whatever, that's exactly what's happening. They
Yeah,
believe that their path is the path of goodness, but they don't get it how much fantasizing and how much world building in their mind they have to do in order to get to that conclusion.
maybe the Joker is an excellent example of
Oh
that.
my God, yes.
Wow, that movie is
Did you
amazing.
watch Joker too?
There's the second one.
Yeah, there's a
Oh,
second one. Oh my God.
I
I'm
didn't.
not gonna spoil that one for you. Let's do a breeze about
Okay,
Joker 2 later, okay?
okay.
That one does not deserve to be spoiled.
Yeah,
Um,
so this is a breeze that this is something that I breeze out about often. Is if you inspect the head of anybody, of
mhm,
any murderer, you will understand why they end up doing that, right?
absolutely.
It's not, it
Even
does,
if you don't agree.
yeah, it doesn't mean they should be punished. It doesn't mean, but it kind
I
of,
okay. I,
it
I
kind
have
of
to say
means,
something real quick. It doesn't mean that they need to be punished, but it also doesn't mean that nothing needs to be done about it.
yeah, right. So I think we are getting to a point here that there is something that don't exist, which is like that cartoon thing. I am I am the bad guy. I want to see the world.
Yeah,
Maybe, maybe that's even a representation of bad that we do, but that doesn't even exist. Maybe
that's
that
it.
doesn't even exist.
That's what I believe, right? The same way that the Disney princess reality is not a reality at all,
Mhm.
right? I believe that the evil cackle kind of, I want to do evil for evil's sakes kind of badness is also a construction. It's an oversimplification of something that is way more complex than that.
Yeah, it's funny. We need the simplification that words bring to be able to communicate, right? But we end up being kind of slaves of the misinterpretation,
Yeah.
miscommunication, and we need to
Mhm. And
know
the
how
lack of
to.
nuance,
Yeah,
right? That's why breathing is so important. Like,
yeah,
seriously, like this whole breeze, thinking about the thought process and breathing into deep topics is so important because we kind of break down into this oversimplification of things and we examine it a little bit
yeah.
closely, right? And I truly believe that nuanced conversation is the missing puzzle piece, you know,
Yes, yeah, yeah.
the thing that we need to learn how to do.
And it's so tricky that even breathing out about it, of course, it clears our mind a lot, but you don't get to final answers.
No, but it gets us to better questions. And
Yeah,
sometimes it's even better.
it leads us to intermediate answers as well. So, for example,
Mm,
I think we are concluding here that the majority of people is good. At least it looks like we both think about
yeah,
it.
yes.
Uh, you need to breathe. You need to breathe about it to come to this conclusion, right? It's not,
Oh my God, yeah.
but it's not a final answer as well. I mean,
No, I
they
don't
are
think
not.
so either.
In the end, that we are not. There is not such thing as a good person. There's not such thing as a bad person, and you will never be able to answer
Yeah,
to, to grade some to rank someone good or intermediate, good or bad.
yeah.
Never be able to do that.
Yeah. Is there even such a thing as a final answer?
Yeah, there is not. So there is that breathing guy that I told you about, uh, Paulo Casella,
Uh-huh.
the guy that started that different realities thing.
Uh-huh. I remember.
And the thing is, so he's a very smart guy in very different areas. So one thing that he's a lot into is physics and cosmology, and he has a he has his theory, his try of theory about how the universe became into being and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And he says that, and I agree. I totally agree with him. I think what he says is very plausible. That we have physical constants, right? We have Earth's not Earth. We have the gravitational constant. It doesn't change in the entire universe, right? We have what else? Which other? So we have electrical constants. It's not a field of study, but we have in
No, but I
calculation.
get it.
You get it, right? So you probably saw it in school, like electric permittivity, magnetic permeability.
Mm,
So these are all universal constants. They are we learn that, and everything that we do, that every space craft that we send out to space, they are planned with those constants in mind, and they work. But
perfect.
what he says, he doesn't believe they are actually constant throughout time. Who knows? 1 second after the Big Bang, maybe they weren't. We cannot know that. But it's plausible that they were not.
Oh, wow. I love that.
They are constant in our lifetime. We can do our theories, we can do everything considering they are constant, and it will work. But in essence, maybe I it really makes sense to me that they are perhaps not constant.
I love that. That is so
Yeah.
good.
So,
Yeah.
okay, from where did I felt that I fall into this rabbit hole?
Breeze off of the breeze.
Yeah.
Breeze off into another breeze. I don't know how we're gonna
What were
put
you
it.
saying? You're saying that what were you saying before?
I don't remember because my mind is blown by this
Yeah,
thing about the
yeah.
constants, and I'm like, yeah, totally.
I love this
So I have
cosmology.
no idea.
Can you breeze away a bit? So
Yeah,
I love this cosmology thing, and
me too.
I don't know if you I think this theory that he came out is inspired from the one from Stephen Wolfram. Do you know who is Stephen Wolfram?
I don't think I've ever heard that name. No.
He's a genius. He's a genius, and particularly in the field where mathematics meets computer science, right?
Okay.
And I don't know too much about him as well, but he has a theory for the beginning, for the essence of the universe. Not for the
Mhm.
beginning, also for the essence of the universe. And he compares, actually, it is analogous to computer science structures, right?
Okay.
Uh, yeah, so physicists, I don't think I don't think physicists take him, not take him seriously. He's a very smart guy. He's a very successful guy. But I don't need the, I don't think that the physicists agree with him, right?
Okay.
I don't think it's a solid theory at the eyes of the
But it's a
physicists.
good breeze.
It's not only a breeze. It seems to be very technical.
Okay.
Okay, but that's the thing. He wants to describe the universe as a computer that as a model that is used in computer science,
Okay.
right?
It's a theory, a well-crafted theory.
Yeah, I don't know the theory. I just heard Sabina Rosenfelder talking.
Okay.
Do you know her?
I've heard that name, but I'm not
Yeah,
super familiar.
she's a content creator for physics and science in general.
Okay. Is it an older lady?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. I think I've watched some of her videos.
yeah. So that's a total breeze away from our topic, but since we started it, uh, I just I'm too interested about that. That's because I went away into it. So we were talking about the universe and stuff. So,
Yes, and I really love that kind of stuff too. When it first came out, my husband and I watched the universe, every single chapter of that thing. We like gobbled it all up. Have you ever watched this series? It's a History Channel series.
universe History Channel?
Yeah.
No,
It's
never
the
watched it.
universe in the History Channel. It's
Okay.
older. I think it was in, I don't know, the year
Okay, so
2000, somewhere in
maybe
there.
I watched it sparsely, not
Oh,
everything.
okay. Yeah,
I
no,
remember the name, so perhaps I watched lots of
we
things.
watched absolutely everything. And
Oh,
it was really interesting to understand a little bit, like tiny fragment of what you're talking about, right? Cosmology and how
mhm.
the astral bodies interact or whatever, or constants or dark matter or
Uh-huh.
quantum what is that called? The like when the stars that like generate a strong beam of light, quantum something. I
Oh,
forgot the name.
uh,
Supernova, right?
no,
Like these things that
yeah.
I had no idea about until I watched the
What are you
universe.
talking about? Quasars?
Quasars, yes. Why did I go to
Okay.
quantum? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. It was just something that was fascinating to me. And I have
Yeah.
no utility for that
Oh,
whatsoever,
no.
other than it was cool. Right?
Other than
It was
just
just cool.
admiring it because it is amazing. I think
Yes.
something that I think is also amazing, and I feel that I cannot grasp. I maybe cannot grasp what the physicists think. I don't know.
Me
I
either.
the Big Bang. We have the Big Bang, okay, and they have models for okay. This happened 3 minutes after the Big Bang. Oh, what kind of? From where did you draw that precision? 3 minutes, and it does not end up there. I think, oh, okay, this is a model. This they'll have this paper that tells about this phenomenon that happened 10 to the minus 7 seconds after the Big Bang. What does it even mean? What?
Either they're really smart or they're tripping.
Yeah, I mean, they could be really, really smart, or they can be like tricking me. I
Yeah.
could say, like they may be thinking, man, let's just say we are trying to figure out what happened 10 to the minus 7 seconds after the Big Bang. Even we don't have any idea what we're talking about, but we may convince people. Could be both things. Of course,
Yeah.
they must know very well what they're doing.
And it's that old adage of if you repeat something enough times it becomes reality, it becomes true,
Yeah,
right? And if you have a piece of paper that has something in there and you repeat it enough times, then it becomes true in people's minds.
yeah.
So, um, yeah, I have no idea. Maybe there is a mathematical proof of that. Who's to say? I don't think I'm ever gonna study enough to say that I understand any of that.
There, there are people who thinks everything could be translated into mathematics. Of course, mathematics we don't know yet, but I think it's a very long shot.
Yeah, to be
But
sure of it, right?
but but I think that philosophically it could make sense. I mean,
Hmm.
there must be rules that the universe, that components of the universe spontaneously follow. That must be. We don't know them, but there must be, and they must have some logic built into them that could be comprehended. I
It's
think that
possible.
boils down to, I think that boils down to I think that could be related to Stephen Wolfram's
Mhm.
theory.
But what if these rules are not constant across time?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, you know what? It's very a breeze that I have about this is very similar. I was studying. I was studying probability, right? In college, I was
Mm-hmm.
studying probability, and what always fascinated me in probability is that hey, there are mathematical descriptions for processes here. It's funny because okay, when you throw a ball from a cliff,
Mm-hmm.
you have gravity equals height. So you can predict the path, right? It's exact. It's not
Mm-hmm.
random. It's
Mm-hmm.
exact. You can do it with the planets. So you have closed formulas for this.
Okay.
Mathematical. Cool.
If there's no wind.
Yeah, yeah. There is no wind, and the cow is a sphere and stuff. And so, but the thing is, in probability, there's something very interesting going on, which is we acknowledge that we can't describe the process mathematically. Like we don't know the mathematical foundations of the process, like tossing a coin, for example, or
Mm-hmm.
throwing dice.
Mm-hmm.
You can there is not a formula, Bhaskara formula that you fill out and then you okay the dice will fall with the phase two up. You can tell that you absolutely
Mm-hmm.
can't. But humans came up with the mathematical formulas I described for the ball throwing on a cliff. Okay, we do have mathematical formulas that describe the behavior of describe part of the behavior of the dice, even if we don't know the fundamentals. Do you get what I mean? So
No.
yeah, so the point is, okay, let's say take the coin, right? Tossing on
Okay.
a. So what's the probability? It's a honest coin, right? Uh, so what's the probability of heads or tails? It's
50. Yeah.
50, right? But you must agree with me that if I toss it 10 times here, I will get 8 tails, right?
Mhm.
It's perfectly possible, right?
Yeah.
So it does not fit into the 50-50. But there is a mathematical formula that states that this probability is 50-50, and it actually works. Well, how does that work then? If I didn't get 8 out of 10, if I didn't get 5 tails out of 10.
Mhm.
So it's because it's not exact. The thing is, we don't know the process, but we have mathematical formula that predicts the behavior with good accuracy. Because, okay, there is one thing that you must have: 10 tosses is a very low number. Okay, so if I do 10 tosses, I can have 8 tails. But if you do 1 million, you will not have 8 tails. Okay, you can have 501 million tails. You can have
Mhm.
505 million,
500,000. Yeah.
but you will never have 10 tails, right? So
Mhm.
it's called the law of large numbers. So the formulas that we have for probabilities, they work for large numbers, for
Mhm.
lots of repetitions. They do work for lots of repetitions. So
Okay.
it kind of look like a very elegant kludge for me. Do you know the word kludge?
I don't think so.
Kludge is gambiarra. It's the best word for
Oh my God.
yeah, the best
Okay.
word for gambiarra that I heard. I had a boss that used that word in dental.
Okay. I'm gonna add
Oh,
that to
you
my.
just translated gambiarra. If you only could understand what I mean. Yeah, so it looks like a kludge because we don't know how it works, but it's such an elegant kludge. If you look at the mathematical formulas, you can describe it and get very interesting results, and mathematical results, very precise. You can repeat experiments, and I get baffled by that.
That is actually really cool. I remember having watched something about this rule of large numbers or whatever you gave it a name.
Yeah, the law of
Um,
large numbers.
and I was thinking, as you were saying that, I was thinking that's why when we do studies, you have to do it with a large number of samples, right? If you
Yeah,
do with just one or two samples, you might not get an accurate prediction of whatever it is that you're studying, right? Because probability works for large numbers, not for
exactly.
small
That's
numbers.
exactly the thing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's actually really cool to bring that to this subject, right?
yeah.
And I don't remember why we started talking about probability, but I really enjoyed,
Yeah,
listening to you.
because this thing of describing the universe as logic rules that must exist, I think
Mhm.
it's analogous to the probability thing, right? So I
Mm,
think what we know about the universe is like what we know about probability, because in probability we came up with mathematical formulas and logical descriptions for a process that we actually don't understand how it works exactly,
okay.
right?
Mhm.
And the universe seems to be the same thing. We have formulas for gravitational force and for electrical force that work,
Mhm.
but we don't quite know how the universe actually works. We have models, but we are not there yet.
You know what you remind me of? I think I'm gonna open a new breeze possible for the
Mm,
future, and I actually
okay.
put it on our list already. You remind me of the infinitesimal little bit that I know about quantum physics,
Mm,
right? Like when they're measuring quantum particles, they have no idea how the particle moves, but they know that they can measure it and they can see the result that it gets, right?
mm,
Like you know what somewhat what's going to happen, where it's going to be, but you don't know how it happens, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Quantum
super
physics
interesting
is
to see.
absolutely amazing. I studied the subject of quantum physics in school, in college. And what's very interesting about quantum physics is that it's not intuitive. So usually when you study physics, your teacher tries to explain you in your real life, with real life examples. You can't explain quantum physics with real life examples because absolutely strange things happen there. But
Yeah.
what's interesting is that we got to those behaviors because mathematics led us there. So
Okay.
people did not, as far as I'm concerned, people did not uh, experimented their way through it. You know,
Okay.
there is the double slit experiment. Okay, I think it started with this, but
Mhm.
from there on, it's something very interesting that happens. Is that you take a behavior and you take the mathematics of that behavior, and you don't usually the traditional way of doing science and physics is that okay, so you keep experimenting, you keep empirically doing things and coming with mathematical models. Now
Okay.
it's different. So with quantum physics, as far as I know, you get this behavior and your mathematics, so that behavior comes until here. Okay, but
Mhm.
now you don't have any other experiments to do, but you have mathematical knowledge to derive things from this, come up with ideas and derive things from this that ends up with behaviors that must be true because mathematics tells us so. So let's see now if they are true, and you see they are. So you made a different path from traditional science, right? So the
Wow.
traditional path is empirical. This path is
Hmm.
empirical up to a point. Then okay, not not possible to do it empirically anymore. So let's do it mathematically and keep mathematically, and you go far with that mathematics, and you end up with results that work physically, but you didn't think of them empirically. You think of them only mathematically. I get baffled by this.
Wow. Okay. That's actually really cool. I never heard it said like
Really
that.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really cool. But we thought, so we're talking about um, the universe, the logic of the universe, probability, quantum physics, and this is a very good hook
Philosophy TV
to
shows.
the question: Are people good or bad? Are people good or bad anyway? Die. Are people good or bad anyway? What do you
I
say?
believe people are always striving to be good, but in very wrong ways. They follow the wrong path to get to the good. Um, does that
Okay,
mean that they are good? I don't know. I just know that they try.
okay. Your breeze is something I need to breeze about. I didn't breeze about in these terms. They make sense to me.
Mhm.
What I would say from what I've already breezed is that um, good and bad are tricky terms, and there are that seem to exist bad people, but um, the majority of the people, as I see it, fall in the region of good/gray area.
Yeah. Okay. That's.
Yeah.
I think it's very similar perspectives, right? Except you say that there seem to be bad people, right? And I would agree with that statement. There seem to be bad people, but I do believe that if you dig deep enough, you're going to see that even the evil people are striving to be good, but in the worst way possible. Mm.
Okay. Okay. So I think we should. I don't know about you. I think we should end up in this breeze here. But let's end it. I came with a very a very breathing and existential crisis genic thing.
Wow.
A question to end this breeze for people to breeze along.
Okay.
Okay, so for whom do you think, let me rephrase it. Who do you think, if there are seemingly bad people that are actually not bad, who do you think you already met in your life? Who do, or maybe you didn't even you don't even know the person, but who do you think perceives you as bad? Okay,
So many people.
read that one out.
Am I meant to answer this or just
No,
leave it
no,
be open?
it's an
Okay.
open question. We can breeze this. We can breeze this another day, but
Okay.
an open question to you, to me, and to whoever is watching.
Yeah.
It's a
I
tough
think
one.
I think I'm gonna give you a preview.
Hmm.
And I actually breezed long and hard about this
Mm.
over many, many, many years. And I've got to many conclusions on several people that probably see me as bad or have seen me as bad or evil, even though in the moment I was striving to be good or to do the right thing that I thought was right in that moment. But as I grew, I saw the error of my ways, and I see, at least I attempt to see the perspective of the other person and how they saw me as bad, right?
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. I get how you could see it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was not my intention in any way,
Mm.
shape, or form.
Yeah.
But it still objectively seemed that way. Right? It's complex, but yeah, I definitely think
Yeah.
long and hard on that.
I think it's something everybody should think about.
Yeah, yeah, because your intention is not always what comes across, right? It doesn't matter what you were
Yeah.
thinking in the moment, right? Oh, but I thought that this was a good, right thing to do. It's like, no, I don't care. This is not how it came across at
Yeah.
all, right? And I definitely do that self assessment
It's
way
good.
too much sometimes. Sometimes I
Yeah.
need to be like, okay, just end it, put a rock on it, and like,
Yeah. Yeah. It's also
let
good
it go.
to understand your thinking about people who you perceive as bad.
Oh my God, I've had to do that exercise forcibly many times over the course of
Mm.
my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, it was a good one.
I know, I loved it. You blew my mind twice in
It
this
was a
breeze.
breezy one.
Jesus Christ, dude. Yes.
It was a
And I
breezy
think it
one.
was the first breeze that we've allowed ourselves to breeze off into other breezes,
Yeah, we just
right?
breezed the way to a whole different topic, which is good because it's a breeze.
Yes, that's what it's supposed to be
Yeah,
like, right?
yeah.
And we did get to a few conclusions, right? A few
Mhm.
opinions of ours, and okay, whatever. So we
And
closed that.
different lines of thinking. I mean, you're thinking about the person being born, desiring good. I didn't think this way. I need to breathe out on this.
Okay, so maybe we can come back to this breeze in about a
Yeah,
year or so and see how we've evolved in
sure.
our
Yeah,
thought process. And are you still
yeah.
there? Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
It's a
I'm here.
little
Yeah.
weird. Yeah. I guess it's worth it for us to throw out there our chosen next breeze so that people
Oh,
who
yeah.
might be
Right.
accompanying can, I don't know, think about it and research or do whatever you want with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
So what
Which
will be that one?
is,
Yeah.
which is, yeah.
Tell us.
Can you read it or do you want me to?
I can if you want me to. I can. So yeah. So our next visit. Oh, this is a cliche, perhaps. What's the meaning of life? But what is not
Ta-da!
a cliche is there even a meaning to it? Okay, we can breeze out on this a lot. So we we
Yeah.
never we never stay on the cliches, right?
Yeah, yeah. But I think the cliche questions are important, because people go round and
Yeah.
round
Yeah, they are
and
important
right.
because
Yeah,
usually they stay in the cliches. Right?
yeah.
Uh, do you think that it's the answer to this is 42?
Is what?
Don't you know this one?
No, I don't think so.
Don't you? Okay, this will be a good story to tell you during our breeze. But so when I ask you what's the meaning of life, you didn't see this answer as 42 in your life, right?
As
40,
42?
42, yeah. What is the
No,
meaning of life? It's 42. Have you never heard of this?
no,
This is a
no
funny one.
idea.
This is a funny one.
Okay.
And a very ingenious one.
Are you gonna leave me hanging, really?
Yes, I will leave you hanging
Ah!
next week.
All right, all right. Leave everybody curious so they have to come back
Yeah,
next week.
cool.
That's what it's about.
Okay.
All right, so that's it. That's our next breeze. What is the non-cliche breezes about? What's the meaning of life? And is there even a meaning?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. I guess I'll catch you on the next breeze.
Okay. See you there. Bye bye.
See ya.